Another day, another offshore wind. So it's currently southwest, south side peninsula run. Gonna do a rock launch again. There's the occasional cap now, so it's on and off. Showing 19 at Terry, but that often shows about 5 knots over, because it's up quite high, but it is on the other side of the island at least. So I'm expecting maybe 11 or 12 knots, which is enough. There's 6 k's or so of fetch here. But anyway, so yeah, Gulf Harbour to Shakespeare. The guys are waiting. Everybody's in touch online. Where do you go? What's happening? So I'll be the guinea pig for this first run, and then I'll report to the guys what it looked like, which is going to be not great for them because nobody else uses the 1401. None of the crew use it. I think John's biggest foil is 1201. So they kind of miss out on the 11 to 14 knot range, I guess, which is actually a fun range. Especially onshore. Anyway, so today I'm using my KT Dragonfly 2 8.2 by 21 by 121 litres. So I actually bought this one. So I was using the surfs yesterday, and it's I was tossing up between this one and the surf when I was in the shop. Went for this. Seemed a little bit more in line with what I'm doing and as an all-round board, but actually that KT surf is pretty damn good, so I am considering the potential of having a board like that for bay runs and surfing. Bought some socks today. The other day I wore socks down here on the rocks and I got a lot more grip, so we'll see. Somebody fishing. Down in one piece. So yeah, 1401, 40 skinny. I considered putting the 55 skinny on. Silly Short Advance Plus, 72 mast, Ultra Pro. And then the KT 8.2, Zyke wetsuit, keeping me all sorts of warm. So there we go. I'll switch to socks. I'm sure you're not very interested in this, but try to keep it to one run, one frame. Makes the uploading much easier, I found. There you go, I can't even bend down to my feet these days. Yeah. Okay, you should help a little bit. I saw this in Bear Grylls once. He was crossing a glacier and he put socks over his shoes for grip. Turns out it works for slippery rocks too. Thank you, Bear Grylls, if you're watching this in the future when I'm famous. Oh, it's still bloody slippery. But less slippery. coming behind you, mate. Hello. Sneak past you. This looks pretty promising. I could have maybe gotten away with the 1180. I'll wash my feet off a little bit. Have a look around. Small bump, you know. It's hard to say how much exactly, how small. It's kind of, the little peaks are like 30 centimeters, but there's like a greater swell kind of running under just a little bit. It might be like a meter. Definitely not a meter swell, but an actual meter in size from like the stacked bumps. If you stack them all on top of each other, you get about a meter. And now I've got a little bit of breeze here. But yeah, this is going to be interesting, the 8.2 versus the 7.10 surf, which is kind of what I was going for today. So I've got the surf in the car. Okay, so far I'd say this one's probably more stable. A little bit more length, 4 inches. Rounded hull. And somehow I've got to try and paddle up while my body's still cold. Muscles. So, medium pace, wait for the right bump to pass us by, then we'll race it. Not that one, maybe the next one. I'm really trying to de-weight the system. Very slow. Okay. I don't even know what was happening there. My feet are in the wrong position. Woo. Suck some oxygen in while I can. Tend to hold my breath. Things get stressful. Got a little bit of breeze behind me now. So even though I'm not recovered, I'm going to keep paddling downwind on my feet just a touch. And if the right bump comes while I've got a little bit of breeze at my back, I'll take it. First run of the day, it's all feeling a bit rushed. Breeze is still there, bumps look okay, just need to stay calm. Might be too focused on filming, I think, actually, to be honest. Although where I've just gotten to looks a bit better. First dip in the water is always good for settling the nerves, falling off now. Should be a bump coming. These look pretty good. Next one, no. Just need something that gives you a bit of a downhill so that you can get your head start. Okay, here we go. And then it's all about gaining forward speed while you can. I think that's what I was lacking before, is the forward speed. And get in mast height. With the right gear and you ride it correctly, what else can you do? Very little bumps though. Just put that out there. Trying to do micro pumps. This looks like something to follow. You don't have to break any records of speed. If you can get in sync with the ocean and it's fast enough that your foil is going to function. You know, if the ocean's going too slow for your foil to work, well then you're going to have to work. Just the way it is. You can add in a bit of swell every now and again for your run, but so if you can find the ocean speed that works for your foil. So I'm on the 1401, big foil, but slow moving ocean, so I need a foil that can go slow. And then I'm really just looking to get in sync with these ocean bumps. Like sit on top of a micro swell. You know, try and keep it downhill available at all times so that I can escape into it. Which means riding up high on my mast, high on the bump, and then just see, can I go slow enough that my foil's still going to function. And if I can, well that's it, that's the recipe. And then preempt any uphills you're going to face. If you're going to be faced with an uphill, do some early pumps. Build some speed. And then try to be efficient with your foil. So obviously ride it high, but don't point it downwards. Keep it flat to the sea. And then, you know, it's not going to drop out on you. You know, when you first learn to ride an HA foil, you probably porpoised and then fell out of the sky, or you'd stall and drop. It's still the case, even though you've gotten better. You've probably got better habits. But you're going to maintain that flat foil position if you want true bottom end. Because as long as your foil's flat and it's got water running over it, it can't just fall out. You know, the right speed of water, obviously. So when I do these little micro pumps, I'm not trying to self-propel, just adding little boosts of energy into a flat foil. I'm doing the smallest little down, I guess, and straight back to horizontal. Because if you start doing the big drop pumps, you're basically now foiling under your own energy. Which is pointless, downwinding. You might as well be flat water pumping. And then it gets hard to get back in sync. So you end up just chasing little things. But right now, whenever I do a pump, I'm just trying to add speed to the system. And then turn that speed into a bump ride. So I'm not self-propelling. I'm just trying to add speed to my downwinding, essentially. I am trying to gain mast height, so I do de-weight the foil and let it come up. Downhill here. Woo. You know, and it's probably not, you know, it's the rule for me, but it's not 100% of the time, right? So I'll break that rule maybe 10% of the time, who knows? Maybe 50% of the time with other techniques. But it's my mentality. It's what I'm aiming for, but you know, you got to adapt on the fly. Sometimes the ocean throws something at you, you've got to overcome or utilize. Maybe it's a good wave, maybe it's a bad wave. If it's a good one, make sure you get on it. If it's a bad one, well, bad luck, go somewhere else. Keep pumping. So a lot of my riding, I'm just trying to keep horizontal right now. And then let the ocean form around me, and if I'm doing it right, I'm on a bit of ocean that's going to lift and lift me. Getting shallow. Careful here. So yeah, when you don't have energy to waste on the water, I'm on the inside right now, and maybe you can see what I had. There's my board for reference. So this is the biggest it's been, because this is where the bumps are standing up. And it's not very big. The board is, you know, 6 inches thick. Think about that. Cool. So in these sorts of conditions, I don't know what other people get, you know, conditions wise. I know some people get amazing conditions. Some people claim they get bad conditions, but honestly, wind on water kind of is always the same, in my opinion. Unless you got a severe current running with it. Some of the bumps will turn into refraction and bounce off rocks and steep beaches. So anyway, if you're in light bumps, try to keep your foil flat to the surface of the water, and then ride at a speed that's not going to stall. So in the 1401, you know, you can get away with riding at 14 kilometers an hour. So ride, say 14, 15, 16. There's no need to ride 20 kilometers an hour. If you do, you're starting to drag the system. So the foil has a sweet spot for efficiency. And if you start riding up against that end of that sweet spot, you're getting into draggy territory. And just like somebody standing on a ladder, you know, you can stand on a ladder with your legs and just stand there, just lightly touching the bars with your hands, or you can stand on that ladder totally gripping those handbars. And all that extra effort that you put into gripping those handbars is not doing you any favors. It's just burning you out. Same sort of thing with the water. You know, you can really blow a lot of energy out here by not being efficient. So you can work hard, you can thread needles that aren't there, you can constantly put yourself in the worst position. So it's something to think about when you've got time out here. That's why big slow foil is great, because it gives you time to think and observe. So whilst that's the case, and you're able to think about what you're doing, think about keeping your foil flat and running forward at a speed that's going to keep the foil going. And then it's your job to stay on high water, lumps. And if you can stay up on that lump, you're going to have advantage of that. You can ride down into a lower portion of the ocean. That riding down is going to give you some forward speed back. So if you've got height on a bump and on your mast, that's like a battery bank that you can then use in case of emergency. So get high on a bump, high on your mast, ride forward at a nice efficient pace, and if shit starts turning bad, well, you've got your best case scenario. You've got height and you can just ride along, losing ground a little bit, turning that into forward speed, and that'll give you another couple of seconds to find a new high spot. Maybe you have to do a couple of pumps to bring yourself back up to the height of the mast. So while that's all going on, then look for raising water. So you don't want to run into the bump in front of you because it's uphill. And if the bump's in front of you and you go on it, there's a good chance that bump might be on its way down rather than on its way up. So if you can get yourself into the trough, well, the bump behind the trough is going to be lifting as you go forward. So that's constant uphill, raising water. It's hard to explain. But if you can sit on the back side of the trough as if you're in the front of a wave and just sit there and time your runs, kind of all you got to do. Anyway, it's a long one. A lot of talking, sorry guys. I'm in a talkative mood.